Hi folks, Tanya here, and this is my island, so welcome. I'm making a big step to tear down and rebuild my island soon, so I just wanted to film a little tour, early morning one, to commemorate this island and have something to look back on when I'm in the middle of a terraforming disaster. So yeah, thanks for joining me and welcome. First off, let's look at the map. And I just wanted to give you an overhead view of where everything is and how it all looks. So you'll see here that I've got a lot of waterscaping around, and my residents are scattered around the island. That's mostly because when I first started designing the island, I was very belle poor and I just didn't want to move them. Since then, I've moved a couple of buildings, but it's mostly in the spot that it was originally set out when I first got the residents. So with that, come on in. So the first bit I like to take people up to is this reception area. And here we've got a nice painting by Vermeer, and it just sets the tone for the whole island, which is an artist retreat. And it's a retreat for artists of any kind of medium, whether it's painting or writing or music. And so this just highlights that, it's about art. So when people come in, I like to welcome them at this reception area, give them a little wave, and brew them a cup of coffee, and then they can pick up their gifts just here. And then moving on from the reception area, we've got a little nooks over here. I like how close it is to the entrance because if I ever happen to have good turnip prices, that's an easy little route and people don't get lost. Moving on, we've got the museum over here. It's quite an understated entrance, but with some little bugs here just to torment blathers a bit. And I like this little waterfall pond area because the residents like to just sit here and fish and read and everything. Moving on to the rest of the town square area, there's this first resident, which is Bo, and he's also the newest resident. And I've given all the villagers little personalities in terms of their artistic talent. And I see Bo as like a little singer-songwriter, very chill. Maybe he writes like folksy indie music. So I've got this music set up for him right out front with some scattered cushions and wildflowers for his adoring fans to just sit on and watch him play. And then I've got these camouflage beach towels, so you can just, have a little snooze while you're listening to chill music. Yeah. And then next to Bo's house is Abel's, so a little shopping area over there, which leads into the beachside market here. So this is the textile area, so selling cushions and rugs and things like that. A shopping area. These are some very basic outfits that I've designed. I basically don't know how to make patterns, so, we've just got blocks of white. And then selling some pottery and ceramics here, some drinks, coconut water or pina colada, depending on your preference, and a coffee stand. So you can grab your coffee and just come sit here in front of the museum, bring in the morning. Yeah. Moving on from the beach, we've got this higher level butterfly garden. I love how it looks against the dawn light, and this statue just proudly standing up there with the butterflies floating around. I love when my villagers just sit here and I imagine them cracking open a book and sipping some tea. And then over here I've got a little mini painting area, so you could be potentially sketching this beautiful statue or some of the butterflies. And then moving on, there's this walkway to other parts of the island, but we'll just skip that for now and wind our way through to Flo's house. So Flo is a perfumer and candle maker. So this is a really nice smelling area, I reckon. We got the purple hyacinth that looks like lavender. So I think she probably specializes in lavender and honey scents, with different fragrance diffusers and candles and things like that all around. Yeah, just very, very fragrant area. And that then winds along back to the beach, and we'll hop on over to the right side of the beach. And we meet our next resident, which is Walker. He's a fashion designer, so he's got his little sewing machine on, sewing kit, and some designs out front. And then over here is a pier. So this was inspired by Crash Landing on You, the Korean drama, set in North and South Korea. And if you haven't watched it, there's a character called Captain Ri, who plays music on a dock similar to this, a song that he composed, and it's a very important moment. So yeah, just wanted to pay homage to that. And then winding along the beach here, got a little seating area where you can tuck into some cake. It looks so tasty. And then over here is some beachside pottery. So I love pottery. I'm terrible at it. I just waste pretty much all the clay when I'm trying to make anything. So hopefully the residents are a bit better than me. But I just thought this would be such a nice way to throw some clay around. And then over here, there's the rest of the pottery area where there's a little hand building station here where you can make some clay dinosaurs. There's a workbench tucked away under here, a kiln and some finished pots. And that leads to Olive's house, and she's the resident potter. So she's got her own little kiln over here, some of her jugs that she's made, and pots. So she's the accomplished one here. And then just to the right, there's a hidden little windy water area with a duck and some lanterns and flowers. Just very calming. And I used to make people hop along there, but they get stuck and stuff. But I just like a bit of terraforming, understated terraforming over here. And then next we've got this painting area. I love this spot because I love this painting, Birth of Venus. I really wanted to make the surroundings reflect the painting as much as possible. So we've got that shell lamp in the background and some scattered shells in the foreground over this peninsula with the beautiful sky behind that kind of mirrors the painting. And that leads to Diana's house, who is the painter on the island. And so you'll see there's the sinking painting next to her. That's about Ophelia. And some clothes washing over here because, you know, if any painter knows, your clothes get real dirty. And some ducks because she always needs some subjects to paint. And then her other painting area. So this is a gorgeous painting by Turner. He's just got such a way with light. And yeah, I know this is basically of a sunset, but just think it's really pretty against the sunrise light. And so that's just, yeah, really chill spot. And then over here is a little hippie jam session. So I think this would be cool after a couple of drinks, play some ukulele and a bit of guitar maybe. Ooh, just need to wind our way through to the guitar. And I've also got on me a tambourine. And I love these. They're just so funny when you clank them. Yeah, so that's like the kind of chill jamming area. And then these are the real musicians of the island. They're called Rolling with the Gnomies. And yeah, they each have their own little instrument. They like to play all night, and so they just hang out on this rock, and I placed some star fragments there, so they're rock stars. Yeah, anyways. Moving on. I'm gonna wind back down over to Diana's area, and then we'll hop on over to this little hidden area. So first off, this is Elvis's house, and he is a goldsmith. So that's why there's all this gold outside in this furnace. His door is very fancy. And this is the rest of the goldsmithing area. So in my imagination, gold comes from the ground and takes the form of roses, and then you can kind of boil them down here to recast into different shapes. So yeah, just a very bling bling area over here. And that then leads us to, my absolute favorite part of the island, this canyon, secluded canyon with the moon. And it's not one moon, but it's 2 moons. And that is inspired by Haruki Murakami's book, 1Q84, where characters enter an alternate universe, and one of the ways that they know that it's not the same as the one we all inhabit, or think we inhabit, is that there are 2 moons in the sky. So I just wanted to place this little writing area here with a Japanese-style chair, imagining that maybe he's just tapping away and writing that book over here. And I love this area at night because the moon and the little lights and hyacinth lamps just cast a really nice glow to the whole area. And then winding back along, we get to Gwen's house over here. So she is a cobbler. So we've got these cute little shoes all around, and she just keeps the residents well heeled. That's the one. And then hopping along over here, we've got our little koala family. So on the left, we've got Melba, and on the right, we've got Ozzy. Basically, I had Ozzy first, and then when I got Melba, I just knew they had to just chill out together, and I imagined a little love story for them. So this is their romantic seating area. And now Ozzy is a bamboo craftsman. So he just pulls from the surrounding area and makes some gorgeous little furniture. And then Melba is a weaver. So this is her loom. She just can weave some gorgeous tapestries over here. And there's a spinning wheel and a kimono with her patterns on. Yeah, just working away over there. And then along this way is the hidden pathway to my secret beach. So I like to do a secret pathway. Red's here! I'll come back for that later. And so that is a perfect shot because it just makes the whole spot. So he's a smuggler, but also he's well loved in the island because some of the artists, they're also making the fakes. So, this might be something that one of them painted. It's gone a little bit awry, but they'll still try to sell it. And so, yeah, even though he's dealing in some fakes, they are partaking in that whole process. So thanks to him, they can get a bit of income. And we've got some money out here as well. Because, guys gotta get paid. So winding back along, I think I'll take you over here which I've got a little painting area of the mountains and the trees, and a little area where you can chill and play the ukulele, and this sweet little tea spot. So, you know, after a long day's work, in the middle of the day, you just want to put your feet up and have some cake and some tea and everything. And along this way, so this is my house. I love the color of the house. Where I grew up, I had a little white house with a green roof, so I just wanted to recreate it on my island, and I dabble in a bit of weaving in my spare time, so I wanted to put this loom here. And over here is my rock garden, and that took quite a bit of time, but so worth it, and just makes harvesting that stone and the gold and everything so much easier. And that leads through to the Stonemason Area, so, you know, right off of the quarry, then you have the stoneworking. And I like these kind of stone lions just welcoming you in. And you'll see another pack of gnomes. So these are very hardworking gnomes. They're here all day, all night. They never move. They're just chiseling away at some rock, making some beautiful statues for you all. They also get sold to Red, so, you know, you gotta thank these guys. And then over here is a kind of wining and dining area. So we've got this big family-style table here. You can have a big meal with your friends. But if you want something a bit more private, there's this kind of two-person romantic dining area right on the rocks with these beautiful rose petals all around. And yeah, just scattered flowers. Quiet little reading area over here, and a hammock for some individual chill out time with a book or two. I also love this ship in a bottle, but I definitely mistakenly try to pick it up a lot of the time because I think it's got a DIY for me. And then over here is either the mum pond or the lily pond, depending on your how you want to see these little mum cushions. And I think it's a really sweet little area, but I also like to just like hop along up and down them willy-nilly. And then when you've had dinner, you've got this little cocktail area, so you can chill out at the bar, order a margarita. Maybe this is infused water, or maybe it's a whole thing of Pims, and these little pina coladas here, jugs of sangria, or, you know, non-alcoholic, whatever floats your boat. And when you've had some drinks and you can wander along the beach, this is Coco's little area. So I've given her own little spot because I just think she's so sweet. I gave her a gold rose wreath, as well as a gold rose crown like the one I'm wearing, but she just never wears it. So, you know, thanks, Coco. But she's a writer, so she's got this little writing area here. And this little spot hidden behind her house with a clothesline and this beautiful globe that a friend gifted me. And then behind her, there's this little secluded spa suite. So yeah, it's outdoors, but I think, you know, in the Animal Crossing world, I don't think it rains when you're lying outside on a bed like this. It's always going to be perfect weather. And then some little seating area, some tea and cream and sugar. And then I'll take you back through There's stonework here. Ooh, balloon. Let's get that. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, got it. What was it? I never get good stuff. Anyways, back to it. Back through the Stonemason area. Then we've got this live figure drawing section. So, you know, most artists will have spent a bit of time getting to know the human form, doing some sketching. Maybe this is a real live model, you know, whatever your imagination says to you. And then there's these kind of scattered sketches because there's always a couple of bad first drafts. And then over here, there's a still life painting area. I wanted to put the perfect painting here, but I haven't gotten that yet. Maybe Red's got that in store for me today. So once I get that, that's going to replace there. And then some music, because you know you want to have some good tunes while you're painting. It's good for inspiration. And then a last writing area. Oh no, second last. Another quiet little spot so we can get some work done. There's a lot of scattered paper around this island, but luckily most of it is biodegradable. And then here is a little secret area on my island, and is a bit of a nod to what you'll be seeing in my next island. So this is the entrance to Narnia. I've got a little novel here, so it's almost like you're jumping into the book, and through this wardrobe, winding through and into Narnia. So this is the lamppost where Lucy met Mr. Tumnus. This is his little umbrella over here. Got a gnome and these giant mushrooms, so you know there's some magic in the air. And then tucked in this little corner is a stone lion. So that's either Aslan himself or someone's just tried to give a sense of having Aslan around. And then through the woods is this little library. So I think this is maybe C.S. Lewis's library. Perhaps he was in this wooded glade before and just got inspired, so came over here and started typing away. And he's got his drafts and manuscripts over here. He can do some editing and gather inspiration from other books. Yeah. And then winding back through, there's this little waterfall and river area with some decoy ducks, and some more decoy ducks. So I like to do them in pairs because I just imagine them talking or quacking to each other. You've got to have friends. And then through this spot, another enchanted little forest with a gnome hanging out and some massive mushrooms, massive flowers, and a stargazing area. So this is a nice little spot to wish upon some stars and you know, look through a telescope, play some ukulele. Standard things you do on a picnic blanket. And then up here is my campsite. So this was actually the first area that I designed properly. And so it has a soft spot in my heart, even though I don't think it's particularly inventive or anything. And yeah, so there's a little campfire area, a cooking section with a hearth over here, and some decoy ducks just chilling out. Over in this spot, there's a quiet, secluded nook. You can chill out, you can read, You can snooze, whatever your heart tells you. And yeah, I think that takes us through to pretty much most of the parts of the island. So next up is the house tour. So something to know about the house is it is a spa. So I wanted to create a little spot for my residents to chill out in after a long day of artwork, and you know, it's good to be chill in mind and body. Oh, and just to say, this is my resident services over here, so that's how everything connects. So yeah, so before going in, I need to get changed. And I love those coconuts. I mean, cucumbers. So welcome. When I've got guests over, I like to sit at this little reception spot and greet them in, give them their towels and other assorted items to get ready for a spa treatment. The first room we'll go into is a meditation room. And so lights are off already. Maybe let's turn them on so that we can find our way. Just find a little spot. And then we can start meditating. So I wanted something like really boho and with just some plants around and fragrances and mood lighting. So it's really just a nice smelling quiet spot. And then going through here. So this is the next room. This one is more of a traditional bathroom with a big giant tub right in the middle. Nice little shower head in a wet room. I love how the toilets flush when you get off them. I think that is just hilarious. So I'll get that ready for you. Yeah, so just this is like my dream bathroom. My real bathroom is just not anything like this. And yeah, just some nice tile work over there. And then over on the right, we've got a Japanese steam room. So we've got the cloud flooring, and I just love it with the wallpaper here where it looks like there are these clouds in the mountains. So it really gives this feel that you're on this secluded mountain top, like way even above the clouds. Little spa, and this is more Japanese in feel with some green tea in the corner there, some signs, little slippers on the ground. Yeah. And I forgot to say very much about this main reception area actually. So the wallpaper is similar to the Japanese room in that these are on the top of mountains. So I imagine this as like, a little hidden sanctuary up in the mountains that you breathe really crisp, fresh air and drink glacier water or something like that. So yeah, so then let's go downstairs to the last spa room of this basically spa house. And this is kind of like a courtyard spa with this stone stone water feature over here. There's a little tiny library and some tea, so you can just sit on this cushion and take in the sounds of the running water and all the music. Just have a little rest. And then take you through to the last room. So this is a kind of cafe lounge. This is, it serves also as an art gallery, so you'll see there's lots of art on the walls. The artists like to display their work to show off to their other artist friends. And there's a little painting set here, so you can get to work right in the middle of this space. It's another Tom Nook with an earring, because this is what's popular right now. You'll see it's modeled after the real girl with a pearl earring, but you know, gotta make it Tom. And so you can go over here and have a frittata and some tea and coffee, and some baked goods. And then this bit is more of the lounge area, where you can sit and listen to music and just kick your feet up. So I think that's the end of the tour. Let me just change my outfit before we say goodbye. Winding through this double waterfall, back over the bridge. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a lovely day.